Hey, this is Pastor Michael Urisha, and I want to invite you to hit that like and subscribe button and drop us a comment if you will. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you receive all of our updates. God bless you. Come on, let's get to the word.
The Jews cannot crucify Jesus under their law because about 2 years prior to this, in around 30 AD, the Romans usurped the Jewish law. Prior to that, the Jews were able to execute whomever they wanted according to Jewish law, the Old Testament law. But the Romans came in a couple years prior to that and said, not so. We will determine who receives capital punishment. So since they were unable to execute him for blasphemy, they trumped up charges of sedition and tax evasion. Once again, fake news. This is CNN. To show you how far the Jews had fallen, watch this. In the Gospel of John, his account of this event, he records in chapter 19, verse 15. It's the same story. But they shouted, "Take him away! Take him away! Crucify him!" "Shall I crucify your king?" Pilate asked. Watch this. "We have no king but Caesar," the chief priest answered. Finally, Pilate handed him over to them to be crucified. Right there, church, it reveals the heart of the religious hierarchy. In other words, government is now their God. The Jews have now become subjects to the government. Caesar is the only king. That's their proclamation. I'm talking about the religious folk of the day. In other words, they can no longer stand up against abortion. Come on, somebody talk to me. Why? Because we have no king but Caesar. They can't stand up against homosexuality. Why? Because we have no king but Caesar. We can't stand up for what's being taught in our school districts today. Why? Because we have no God, no king, but the government. Come on, to somebody hearing this morning. We can't stand up for traditional marriage any longer. Why? Because we have no king but Caesar. We bow at the altar of Washington, D.C. I'm trying to talk to the church this morning. I'm talking about religious folk. Too many in the hierarchy of the religious world are in bed with the government. They no longer, back in the story that we're reading, they no longer identify as a Jew. Today, there's so many in the church that no longer identify as a true believer, but rather as a Roman citizen. And it's going on in the church today. Come on, talk to me, somebody. And listen, saints of God, if you are born again, if you are a spirit-filled believer, if you are a Christian, you are a Christian first. You are not an American first. You are not a Republican first. You are not a Democrat first. You are not white first. You are not black first. You are not Latino or Asian first. You are first Jesus Christ and his child. I wish somebody in the house of Judah would give our God a praise. Come on, somebody. This is not our home. We're just passing through. We have a new citizenship. We have a new passport. Come on, saints of God. Hey. I don't care how nice your house is. I don't care how fat your bank account is. Honey, you're leaving it behind. Don't get too comfortable here. We're just passing through. Like I told you before, I told my wife a long time ago, I'm leaving behind just as much as Elon Musk. All of it. Hey. So the first problem is the Jews can't kill him. They can't execute him. They can't crucify him under Jewish law. Here's the second problem. Pilate doesn't think the charges rise to sedition. So they're going back and forth, and they cannot find enough evidence. In other words, with all their investigations, all their committees, all their testimonies of searching for collusion, with no evidence, even though they claimed to have the smoking gun. I hope somebody's hearing this message this morning. After the CIA, the FBI, the DOJ, and every news organization out to search all of Jesus's emails, wiretapping Jesus's phone calls, they even had a mole or a spy in his inner circle. Come on, you know his name, it's Judas. With all of that, nada, nothing on Jesus. Pilate says, I find no fault in this man. History tells us that Caesar warned Pilate about too many executions in Judea. Pilate was too bloodthirsty and was creating a rift between the Jews and the Romans. Caesar said, if you continue these executions, you're going to be recalled to Rome, you're going to lose your governorship over Judea. So Pontius Pilate was extremely cautious, extremely reluctant to execute anybody. A 4th century historian named Eusebius records that because of the execution of Jesus Christ, Pilate was eventually recalled to Rome, and he committed suicide because of the guilt that tore him up.
To every nation, to every generation, to all creation, to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ.